I'm Ashley Nicole Moss for Sports Illustrated, and I am joined by Super Bowl winner, 13-time Pro Bowler, 2004 Comeback Player of the Year, future Hall of Famer, and now broadcaster Drew Brees. Drew, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. It is truly, truly an honor. How's retirement treating you?
It's good. It felt weird when you said broadcaster in that description. I don't know if I'm used to that tag yet, but no, I'm excited about my new role with NBC, broadcasting Notre Dame home football games, doing Football Night in America in studio. In addition to all the other things that we have going on with our foundation and business endeavors, and coaching my kids in a bunch of different sports, and just a lot of the family time. So yeah, retirement, I'm looking forward to it, but really just next chapter and the next opportunities.
And we'll touch upon all of that later, but I have to take you back to that last game at the Superdome, a place that has been so special to you throughout your entire career. When you finished that last game, did you know it was the last time, not only that you would play for the Saints, but that you would play football at all?
Yeah, yeah. I knew that going into last season. It's something that's been on my radar, at least for the last few years, and really just try to take it one year at a time and appreciate the moment and stay in the moment. And um, I think going into that game, obviously, even if we win that game, we go and play, at Green Bay. So it would have been the last home game regardless. Tough that we weren't able to have fans there, obviously with COVID and everything. So it wasn't quite the same, Superdome atmosphere as we would normally come to expect. But at the same time, yeah, I knew it was my last game, and obviously just very grateful and appreciative for all these years.
We mentioned the Superdome, and not only has it been a special place to you, but it's been an important place to the city of New Orleans, like I mentioned, especially after Hurricane Katrina. It served as a shelter for a lot of the people within the city. But the housing crisis in this country is not just, attached to natural disasters. It's kind of across the board in so many different ways. You are teaming up with Lowe's to change that. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I'm the GM of the 2021 Lowe's home team. It's a combination of young NFL players and former NFL players. We actually just drafted Justin Fields and Najee Harris to be a part of the Lowe's home team this year, along with some other NFL players. Joined with Lowe's associates and local nonprofit organizations to help rebuild and strengthen our communities. And Lowe's has been doing this work for a while now, and really done some great things. Been a part of some really unique projects in the communities, helping to renovate, rebuild, and also some special projects like little things like distributing 1 million Christmas trees last year during the holiday season to put a lot of smiles on people's faces when, at a time when, they needed something like that. And so we were able to help them do that in New Orleans, which has been great, and look forward to the campaign this year. And for those who want to learn more about it or get involved, go to lowes.com/NFL.
Such an important cause, and especially after a year like we have all had, it's
No
just been
doubt.
crazy, and so many families are in need, whether financially or in other ways. It's just amazing to give back, and especially to a city that has been so good to you. And you are loved in New Orleans. You've left some pretty big shoes to fill when it comes to those Saints. There is a QB battle going down. What is your advice to the guys there who are going to be competing for that QB1 position?
Yeah, well, I know both Taysom and Jameis pretty well now. We had a chance to be together last year, and both those guys had to step in at times and play quarterback, and both of them did an excellent job. I think that they're both poised and ready, and it's really a matter of who's able to um, kind of prove out that maybe they're the best answer at the quarterback position, and then you build the system around whoever that guy is. So however that competition plays out, I think each of those guys executes their own system and has the ability to be really, really good and effective at it. But they're both great players. They both love the game. They both work extremely hard at the game, and I think both of them have the respect and admiration of their teammates, from the perspective of their teammates know what they come to work with each and every day, with a desire to be great, with a desire to make those around them better, and to be the best representation of that team that they can be.
And I gotta say, I'm not up for the competition, but if I were, I would not want to have to follow Drew Brees. That is a very tough act to follow. But from big shoes in football to basketball, Zion Williamson, you've had a relationship with him since day one. You welcomed him with open arms in the city of New Orleans. Are you at all surprised by how he has grown since the first time you met him? And is he the new face of NOLA?
Listen, he's brought a ton of energy and excitement, to the city and to the Pelicans. That's for sure. I think just like any young player, you step in and there's a lot more than just what you do on the basketball court, right? And especially for a guy who comes in at 19 years old, like a lot of the kind of the young stud basketball players do nowadays. There's so much support and that you need around you. I think not only your transition into the game of basketball in the NBA, but also just to, I think, your responsibility as a member of the community and the opportunity that you have to impact. And certainly he has that opportunity. And he's got a great organization around him. I think he's got great leadership and people around him that can help guide him as well. And so um, he seems like the type of young man who really does care about kind of the bigger picture, as it pertains to his influence in the community as a professional athlete, and hopefully that continues to evolve and grow.
Well, to the future of basketball, to the future of football, your own kids, taking it back to that viral video of Tom Brady throwing passes to them at the Superdome. Knowing the state of football and what you know now, do you think that the game is going to get safer for future generations, or do you hope that it does?
Well, I think that there have been a lot of measures that have been taken over the last probably 5 years at all levels of football to make it as safe as it can possibly be. Uh, let's not forget that football is football. It is a violent game. There are hard collisions, especially as you move your way up through the ranks from high school to college to NFL. These are grown men, the biggest, the strongest, the fastest in the world, running into each other on every play. It's like a car accident. Now, it's why it's really considered a young man's game, and there's kind of a finite amount of time that you can do that. Different than, when you transition from the PGA Tour to the Champions Tour, right? There is no Champions Tour with NFL, and that's why the average career is only three and a half years as well. But it's an incredible game from the perspective, I think, what it teaches you. I think there's a life skills element to this that goes with the competition itself, the overcoming of adversity, the team aspect of this, the locker room. There's so many valuable things about the game of football beyond just what happens on the field on Sundays. Um, so to answer your question about safety, there's no doubt in my mind that everybody will work together to make this as safe as it possibly can be, but football is still football.
Have your kids showed any interest in following your footsteps and going professional? I know they're still young, or even talking about playing in college, and would you let them do that?
Yeah, if that was their dream and their aspiration, I would do everything I could to support that and help them be the best that they could be. So I have no problem with that. I do think that there's an appropriate age to play tackle football, and I don't think my kids are there yet. It's probably more like middle school that's probably appropriate. You can play flag football, you can play a lot of other sports to prepare yourself for the tackle football game later on. So I think there's a developmental benchmark that you need to hit before you start playing tackle. But like I said, I love football. It's provided so much for me in my life. It's taught me so much in my life. Um, so I love the fact that kids play the game and develop a love and a passion for the game. But whether they ever pursue tackle football beyond even high school, um, at least it's something that's in their blood and something they love and something that they'll always love to watch and cheer for.
And speaking of the game that you love, you're now stepping away from the field, but you're going into the booth. Tell me what led to that decision, and have you had time to get any advice from guys who have done it so flawlessly before you, like Tony Romo, someone you know sort of kind of well?
Yeah, there's definitely a transition, but I'm excited about it. It's basically just a different way to show my love and passion for the game. And listen, when people watch me do a broadcast, there's three things I want. I want them to feel that passion and emotion for the game. I want them to learn something about the game. They get a chance to see it from a quarterback's perspective, my perspective, probably a different perspective than they've ever heard about it before. And then I want it to be fun.
Well, Drew, if your career in broadcasting is like your career in football, we are in for an incredible ride. Thank you so much for speaking with me, and best of luck in all that you do.